Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and get straight to what really matters. Today, we're jumping into something surprisingly deep. The whole tangle of money, happiness, and maybe unexpectedly, friendship. We'll be looking at this through a specific piece, a poem just called Money by the Welsh poet William H. Davies. We've also got some great discussion points that came with it, our goal. To pull out the key insights, basically, to help you understand what this poet and the source material are saying about where real value lies.
Right, and to really get this poem, you kind of need to know a bit about Davies himself. William H. Davies, born 1871, Welsh poet, writer. But his life was, well, extraordinary. He spent a big chunk of it as a tramp, a hobo, both in the UK and the US. He was even a peddler, street singer in England for a while before his first book, The Soul's Destroyer and Other Poems, actually got published. And this background, it's not just trivia, it's fundamental. It shaped how he saw everything: life, wealth, human connection.
That makes sense. It's perspective gained from the edge, almost.
Exactly. And that perspective is all through the poem Money. It basically flips the script. It tells this story of a rich guy who starts thinking maybe real happiness.
Yeah.
Maybe that's only found if you become poor. It suggests that it's when the money's gone, or, when you lose it, you grasp its real importance, but not in the way you'd think. It's more about how it reveals who's really there for you, the authenticity of your relationships.
Okay, that's a really compelling way to frame it, losing something to find something better. So let's dive right into the poem itself. The first lines, they go, "When I had money, oh, I knew no joy till I went poor. For many a false man as a friend came knocking all day at my door." I mean, that immediately flips things, doesn't it? What strikes you first about that opening?
Right, it really does. It hits you straight away. That complete reversal of what you'd expect. He literally says he knew no joy until he became poor. And that repetition, money, oh. It feels heavy, doesn't it? Like this constant, maybe even annoying presence.
Yeah, like it was weighing him down almost.
Exactly. And then these false men.
Right.
These friends who weren't really friends. Davies uses that word knocking. You can almost hear it, right? This persistent sound. People wanting access, not to him probably, but to his money. Our source material does mention the practical stuff, money as capital in business or for donation for the poor. Useful things.
Sure, the functional side.
But the poem immediately shows this darker aspect, how it can just, attract superficiality, draw people who aren't genuine.
And that feeling of being hemmed in by wealth gets even stronger in the second stanza. It's quite an image. "Then felt I like a child that holds a trumpet that he must not blow because a man is dead. I dared not speak to let this false world know." What's your take on that metaphor? It feels quite sad.
It's incredibly poignant. Yeah, a trumpet that's about making noise, expression, maybe even celebration. But here it's silenced, muted by death in the metaphor, but for the poet, it seems muted by his wealth. He felt constrained, like he couldn't really speak his mind, couldn't call out the false world that his money created around him.
So the money didn't bring freedom, it brought a kind of gag.
Sort of, yeah. It implies this lack of real freedom, even when he was seemingly affluent, a kind of quiet desperation, maybe, trapped by the very thing everyone assumes brings freedom.
Okay, so from that quiet, constrained world, the poem takes a sharp turn in stanza 3, a real contrast. "Much have I thought of life and seen how poor men's hearts are ever light, and how their wives do hum like bees about their work from morn till night." This picture feels much warmer, much more alive.
It's a powerful counter-narrative, isn't it? It just cuts against the grain of assuming wealth equals happiness.
Yeah.
And that image, the wives humming like bees, it's a lovely simile. It suggests this cheerful, busy contentment, a natural rhythm.
Completely different from the rich poet's silence we just talked about.
Worlds apart. And it really backs up what our source material says. Money does not mean everything in life. And crucially, money cannot purchase happiness and contentment. Davies is hinting that real joy, it can come from simpler things. From work, from community, maybe. Not just from what money buys. The source even mentions things like art, music, literature, offering unending happiness. Things money can't really touch.
Which leads us straight into the fourth stanza, and this feels like some serious social commentary. "So when I hear these poor ones laugh, and see the rich ones coldly frown, poor men, think I, need not go up so much as rich men should come down." That's quite a statement. What's he really getting at here? It doesn't sound like just economics.
It's definitely provocative. I don't think it's a literal call for, revolution or anything. It seems more about values. It directly challenges that societal ladder, the idea that up is the only way to go for a better life. Davies is suggesting maybe the rich need a shift in perspective.
Yep.
Maybe coming down, letting go of that intense focus on wealth could actually bring them more joy, more authenticity.
So it's about finding a different kind of richness.
Exactly. It makes you question that old saying, money makes the world go round. What kind of world is it making go round? Maybe, as Davies suggests, one based on some false values where we lose touch with what's genuinely important.
And that brings us to the end, the final stanza, which feels like the heart of it. When I had money, money, oh, my many friends proved all untrue, but now I have no money, oh. My friends are real, though very few. This seems to nail the point about friendship.
It really does. It's the ultimate payoff, the core message. Maybe the lack of money becomes this, well, this clarifying agent, a harsh filter, perhaps. It strips away everyone who was there for the wrong reasons. And what's left? Genuine connection, real support.
So the paradox is financial poverty leads to relational wealth.
That's what Davies finds, yes. True wealth, in terms of authentic human bonds, emerges only when the financial wealth is gone. It makes you think about those everyday questions, like the source mentions, do you lend money to your friend? This poem suggests money complicates things, potentially corrupts them. For the poet, clarity only came in its absence. Real friends, he says, but significantly, very few.
Okay, so let's pull back a bit then. The source material kind of sets up this classic tension. Money is the root of all evils versus money is the solution for everything. How does the poem help us, navigate that?
Well, the poem is definitely critical, especially about money's impact on relationships and maybe personal freedom. But it doesn't totally dismiss money's role. Remember, the source points out its practical uses: capital in business, donation for the poor, necessary functions in society. So I don't think Davies is saying money is evil, full stop. It's more about how we relate to it, how we pursue it, how we use it, and what we let it do to our connections and our inner sense of well-being.
It's about the priority we give it, maybe.
That seems right. And the source adds another layer, mentioning that money is short-lived, which again contrasts it with those more enduring sources of happiness like art or connection, or the light hearts Davies observes in the poor. It's also interesting how deeply money is woven into just our everyday language. The source brings up some great examples. Phrases like, be in the money, meaning you have lots, or put one's money where one's mouth is, showing commitment financially.
Oh, yeah, or money for old rope, for easy cash.
Right, or even for my money, when you just mean in my opinion. These aren't just random sayings. They show how much economic thinking shapes our daily thoughts, often without us even realizing it. And Davies, as a poet, he uses language brilliantly too. We talked about the repetition, money, money, oh, and that simile, the wives humming like bees.
There's also that contrast, the antithesis you mentioned.
Yes, exactly. Poor versus rich, true friends versus false friends. He sets up these direct opposites throughout the poem to really drive the point home. These aren't just fancy literary terms. They're how he makes us feel the difference, experience the contrast he lived.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it really feels like Davies's poem takes us way beyond just thinking about cash. It shows money's role is, well, way more complicated. It touches our happiness, our friendships, how we even see what a good life is supposed to look like. His journey from having money to having none, it revealed something pretty profound about where real value, real connection actually resides.
Mm-hmm. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how this connects to the wider world of finance and economics. Our source material listed careers like finance management, banking, economics, actuaries, the share market. All these fields deeply involved with money. As you engage with these systems, maybe even work in them, it's worth asking yourself, in this world that's so driven by economics, how do we make sure we don't lose sight of those other things? Those intangible sources of light hearts and real friends that Davies points to. What does being rich truly mean? And how can we, cultivate that sense of contentment, that authenticity, whatever our bank balance looks like? This poem is a great prompt, I think, to keep asking ourselves what truly makes our world and our own lives go round.